G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is the Makeshift anti-material rifle, a semi-highly customizable standalone weapon that is injected into the leveled list, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding it, although there are a few hidden legendary variants throughout the Commonwealth that you might find. I'm not going to tell you where they are. I'll tell you where one is, but I'm not going to hold your hand and tell you where those things are. So getting into the attachments here, you've got the receivers here, so I suppose the default is the 308, and that'll just make it fire 308s. If you wanted to do more damage, you've got the 50, and you've got the shotgun receiver, and there is armor piercing, incendiary, and there's frag shot for that as well. So I'm going to chuck on the armor piercing 50 caliber receiver because I believe we're going to use that in Gunner's Plaza very well. Next up for the barrel, we've got no barrel, which should be just stub barrel in my opinion, but we've got a short and a long one, so with that long barrel we get incredible range out of it. That's more than what a Gauss rifle gives you from what I think, so that's interesting. Next up for the stocks, we've got the standard marksman no stock for a pistol or rifle. Now if it's a pistol, you'd probably hold it in your hands like a pistol, which would probably make this thing extremely front heavy, but I'm not going to do that. I'll put on a marksman stock there, and that's actually a kind of cool mesh there, so that's really good. Next up for the optics here, we've got the sights and medium scope and a combat scope, which these ones are see-through, which is interesting. Only problem with those ones, you can't actually hold your breath while you're aiming with them, but I think the ×2 combat scope is what I want to use, so we'll chuck that on. Next up for the muzzle, we'll put on the suppressor. There is a trumpet and a muzzle brake for better recoil control, but I think a suppressor will do us greatly, and that's what I usually go. Next up, this is just a little bit of a cosmetic change, so this little undergrip here, you can change that to green if you feel like it. There's a quote here, I've got no idea where that's from, and this is a completely optional thing. We'll make it green, why not? And you can change the tape color to blue if you really want to, but that makes the weapon look exceedingly ugly, so I'll just leave it at green. I believe that looks much better. And you can change this metal bit here to a clean and dirty if you feel like it. I'm going to make it clean to make it look better and well maintained. And you also get a legendary effect slot on there if you so need it. Although I believe this is added by a UCO patch, so that might be completely not on the mod at all, but that's your makeshift anti-material rifle. This is one we're going to be using. Let's go into Gunner's Plaza and see what this bad boy can do. Alright, so here we are in Gunner's Plaza once more, and this is what the anti-material rifle of the makeshift variety looks like in first person here. So there's the scope there going down, aiming down sights. You see this thing is see-through. And as you can tell there, this thing is a one-shot, I believe the term is breech-loading weapon, so it's going to be low on the rate of fire side, so we're going to have to make every shot count. Now if you recognize these animations, these are indeed the animations from, oh god, the screen shake. These are indeed animations from the bolt-action pipe pistol or rifle, because it's obviously a rifle weapon. So that is why you can get the pistol animations on this thing, and I assume it'd work that way too. So in terms of the model, it definitely looks good, definitely looks very handmade indeed, very cobbled together, which I like. That is certainly a good look for any sort of wasteland weapon, and good thing this gun is sitting there. I'd be missing her every 2 seconds and having to sit through this lengthy reload to get her again. So one of the things you really need to be on board with is your accuracy using this weapon, because obviously if you miss your shot, you're going to have to wait a pretty long time before taking your next shot. So wow, you just clipped through the ground. Did anyone else see that? Anyways, so we should be getting this gunner killed nice and easily, and one of the perks that is really good with this one, oh, you can actually get the knockdown effect with this. Excellent. Wow, she just ducked out of the way again. Are you just clipping through the ground, mate? Alright, we're gonna bash you to death, I think. There we go. She had a staggering lead pipe. I'm gonna pick that up and use that in a second if I don't get my aim going good. Yeah, so this thing, with the fast hands perk, this weapon becomes infinitely better, because obviously with a faster reload speed equals faster fire rate with this thing, so it's something you definitely want to pick up if you decide to use this. Oh god, this glitch is happening. I'm just gonna back away and try to wipe that from my mind before I get nightmares. Anyways, so this thing fitted with a suppressor means we're super sneaky and we can get some easy kills here. Now the only problem with the way I'm holding this weapon now is that my field of vision is too far up and you don't actually hold the weapon properly. You sort of hold it like you would a combat rifle in first person, at least with your hand on the actual trigger there. So it's unfortunate, but it's not actually a problem in the mod itself. It's more on the game side, but that's just an observation there. I usually play with a little bit increased field of vision because I can do that on PC. You can just configure it using console commands or your config files, which is nice. So as long as I'm keeping hidden, I should be able to take out most of these gunners easily. Good shot there, me. And we should be able to get through Gunners Plaza easily, because obviously when I'm not needing to hit these gunners 3 times to make them drop. Oh, she's actually sneaking, good on her. Yeah, when I'm not needing to hit these gunners 3 times to make them drop, it's making my time to kill much better, so I guess we'll just stay here. Only problem is we're being hammered by that gun there, so we want to get rid of them. Only turret left is that Mark 1. Oh, it's a Mark 2 today. Wow, gunners have been spending big on making sure they're fortified. Alright, what have we got here? I think a couple more gunners through there. No, I must have cleared them all out. Looks that way. And we'll just go ahead and head into this melee gunner's room, and you know what, we'll find out what this thing is like in VATS. Alright, couple of shots to the head, and as I expected, it is not very generous on the VATS points, but it's understandable. You're going to be doing quite a lot to have this fire a lot. You have to bloody shoot it, pull the bolt back, put a bullet in, and then close the bolt back up. Nah, I think this thing is glitched. If I go back into first person, okay, now the sights are nice and centered. Not sure what happened there, but that'd be an annoying glitch if I had have missed that shot. Now, have we been detected yet? I think we did at the start, but we've actually managed to take out most of these gunners undetected, which is a start. I usually screw up the stealth at some point, but using this weapon, I'm sort of forced to play it like this. Just wait for you to stop moving so I can hit you. You go down, and I believe that turret is the last thing alive, or somewhat alive, in Gunners Plaza. So that was the makeshift anti-material rifle there. Definitely a really, really good weapon for sneaking, but if you don't really have the patience, any sort of stealthy silenced automatic weapon will do you much better in the time to kill. But if you like trusty, rusted, cobbled together weapons, kind of like the pipe pistol but a little bit more better maintained or built, then this is a good weapon for you. We'll move on to Swan now. Alright, so where Swan lives today, and this is the anti-material rifle, but he's not in his usual spot. He's migrated to over here this time, so we're going to have to be a little bit more cautious about this, because as soon as he detects me, then the fight's on and we're in a little bit of trouble. So we'll just go ahead and do 4 stealth criticals on him, and as you can tell there, that's actually done really well in his health. The anti-material rifle, the makeshift anti-material rifle, is incredibly high damaging, and it does make up for its slow rate of fire and low mag capacity by doing that. And I think this is one of the really balanced weapons that I've had on this thing so far. So I'm really pleased with how this is turning out. I'm actually really enjoying playing with this, and it's probably because it's forced me to play in a way that I usually don't play, even though this is generally how Swan fights go. So he's mutated now. We can just keep on backpedaling, and sooner or later he'll drop, just because we'll get too many sneak attack criticals that his little super mutant body can handle. So we just quickly get those shots on him. He's doing his guarding thing, and he's probably close enough to detect us at this point, almost. But it's raining, so he won't do that. And there you have it. That was a makeshift anti-material rifle against Swan. So one of the main things you really need to do with this weapon is to invest in stealth, which is what you'd probably do already. There's no reason why you'd not want to do that, and just get a suppressor and just backpedal away from anything that you can't kill with a few shots. we'll move on to another monster, but this time we'll put on the legendary effect. Okay, so I've gone ahead and chucked the Neverending effect on this, which will drastically improve our rate of fire. And as you can tell there, that pipe, that bolt animation there is that of the pipe bolt action rifle. So that's again showing you that the animations from the pipe bolty have been ported over, which is nice. Now we're being swarmed by all these bears. I think the best course of action is for me to take them out as they're coming close to me, and hopefully knocking the big one down at every time I can. But might as well get those guaranteed hits on the big one while I can, and throw a crit in there just so we make sure we hit him and take out that Dusky if we can. If we get a well-placed headshot, that'll do enough damage to drop him in one shot from full health, which is nice. And hopefully we can get a knockdown on him again, and we'll backpedal away. Now, one of the things about this weapon is that you actually move at relatively the same speed as you would when you're aiming down sights if you weren't aiming down sights, and what this does is just allows you a little bit more mobility, which is useful in these types of situations where you need to sort of backpedal your way out of trouble while shooting, like in the Swan fight. But I think we've got a good angle on this bear now. Looks like he's dropped down again. As he glitchily gets back up, we'll just go ahead and try to take him out. And again, I'm using the old method of running away and sneak attack critting everything to solve my problems, but again, this is really what you need to do with this weapon. But the process is a lot faster when you've got the Neverending effect on this, because you won't have to stop every shot for, say, 5 or so seconds to jam the next bullet into the weapon. And good shot there, and good shot again. There we go. There's a little bit of a quick scope for all you COD players there, I suppose. And we'll have this bear killed as soon as they... Okay, now we're in danger. So we knocked him in a way that it detected us from facing our general direction, which is fine. And as you can tell there, we're not doing that great damage on him in VATS there without any sneak attack criticals. So if you are using this as a sniper weapon, it is good to have a nice furious automatic weapon as a backup if you like. Now, what I say here only applies to moments where you've got a big giant bear that has 40,000 or so hit points chasing you down, which will never happen in the vanilla game or DLC. So this weapon punching above its weight, it does fine there and is acceptable, and I'll give it a pass for that. So I think that is about it for the makeshift anti-material rifle. To sum it all up, I've really enjoyed this weapon. It made use of animation types of a weapon which is relatively unused. Usually you'd look the other way when you find any sort of pipe bolt action rifle. Even if you happen to find a good legendary, it is quickly outclassed by basically everything else. But this thing, it uses the animations well. It uses what assets it gets well. It's got good textures and meshes, and the modifications of the weapons are quite fun too. So if you'd like to see this weapon in your game, be sure to check out the description below. There shall be a link there. This one's been out for quite a while. I've actually seen a bunch of reviews of this weapon when I typed it into the search bar of YouTube, so chances are you already know what this thing is, but I like to test it in my own special way, and I don't ever see people clearing out Gunner's Plaza or killing giant monsters with their weapons on YouTube. So it has been tested and approved by Captainoob, for whatever that means to you. Thank you very much for watching, and be sure to check out One Hit Wonder. That's going to be coming up in just a few hours.